Okay, so we've been to the moon, huh? So what you're telling me is in the 60s, mind you, we blast off from this planet. We then proceed to go into a slingshot orbit around the Earth, gaining momentum, gaining speed the whole time. Now, somewhere in the middle of this slingshot orbit, we blast off out of our own atmosphere and off into space. But that's only one thing that troubles me. What bothers me is that now they're saying that we can't even get through what's called the Van Allen radiation belt. Now, how's that? Didn't we do it around 7, 8 times? I don't know. I don't know how many times they said we did it. To go to the moon and back, all the moon missions. And why is it that every astronaut that's ever been to the moon, out of all of them, none of them, not even one, will put their hand on a Bible and swear they've been there? Could that be because, I don't know, maybe they know of the firmament that encloses our closed system Earth? I used to think that the moon was a reflection of the sun. I used to think that all of our half moons would be side halves if the world was flat, and that was proof. It's not. The moon is its own light source. If you was to stick a thermometer into the shade when the moon is out, it's warmer than it is in the light, which means it's definitely not putting off heat. In this closed system, take Alaska for instance, when it stays daylight all the time, you can actually see the sun going around you like this. Now, how would that be present on a ball? Another thing, there's a little thing that way back in the day, before they had engines for ships, when they only had sails, that they navigated from one continent to the next with pinpoint precision with a handheld computer called an astrolabe. Now, if you look at how an astrolabe works, it would never, and I mean ever, work on a ball. Now, you can argue with me about gravity and everything else under the sun you want to argue. I'm ready. Gravity does not prove that we're living on a ball. Looking at a ball and observing a ball like the moon or the sun, which is obviously a ball, doesn't prove that you're on a ball yourself. It would be like being in the ocean, diving underwater and seeing a bunch of sharks and assuming that you were a shark. So gravity is out. Seeing balls in space, that's out. Let me tell you something. If we could have went to the moon 7 times, we would have a space station there. We would have inhabitants there. We would dock there to go to other places because we wouldn't have to worry about blasting out of our own atmosphere and entering and re-entering. But go ahead. If you want to believe that the government hasn't lied to you about every single thing you ever learned, go ahead. I'm still searching for a way to prove that it could possibly be a ball. Copernicism, Darwinism, evolution, everything is bullshit. Man, Hitler in 1939 was called the Man of the Century by Time magazine. When Jesse Owens won the Olympics in Germany, Hitler stayed up all night talking to him. He stayed next door to him in the next room. Hitler wants only blue-eyed and blonde-haired people to live. Hitler had brown eyes and dark hair. Are you fucking kidding me with this shit? Anyway, if anybody wants to further discuss this and argue it in any way, like for instance flight paths, just start looking at flight paths and how they make no sense on the routes that they take. Then comparatively, compare them to how flight paths make perfect sense whenever you go by a flat earth map. It's the only way they make sense. You don't live on a ball. It's not spinning. And the North Star is the first and only proof you need to know that you're not spinning. It's been in the same place in the sky since 2,000 years ago when they wrote about finding Jesus. That's how they found him. It's going to be there for the rest of your life, and it's been there throughout the entire recorded history. Wise up, America. The government lied to you, but I understand. It's easier to fool someone than it is to convince them that they've been fooled. You hear me, that NASA? We don't want to see any more fucking CGI pics of that blue fucking marble, and we want to know where our fucking money is. Where's our fucking money, NASA? Quit fucking us over. We can handle the truth. Quit trying to blast holes in the fucking glass dome. Quit teaching our children bullshit history. And quit droning us out by starting us out in a school system that takes 13 fucking years and never even teaches us how to balance a checkbook. And stop, for the love of God, teaching our kids fake history. My granddad died, not during World War II, but because of it. He thought he was freeing us from tyranny, oppression, and persecution. Now I'm a white man, as white as they come, and I have been personally tyrannized, oppressed, and persecuted. And I do not think that I should have to work 50 weeks a year to have 2 weeks off to go somewhere that I can't afford to go to anyway. We witness the extravagant and the exotic on TV, but ordinary in everyday life. We watch TV and it drones us out. You football fans, it's all to keep you occupied. The soap operas. America is smarter than this. We didn't get here by being the strongest. We got here because we worked together and we're smart. So government, NASA, fuck you in your fucking neck. Lock me up for smoking weed whenever you'll do anything, and I mean anything, to hang on to what you have just for greed. And faith that science seems to preach us so hard against, isn't it faith exactly that they expect us to believe their bullshit by? Or have you been up into the stratosphere and seen the curvature of the earth? This is Grogan, and not for long, but I'm out.